Okay, so you can see the bars. I'm in jail now. No. After not enough sleep and dreams of terrorism, here we are back in Rise of Empires, ready to take a quick move into the second era. I'll try to do this a little quicker, but alright. What do we have that's new? First of all, some new cities on the board. Again, these are the level A ones. Nice payoffs here. This one gives 4 victory points. Of course, it costs 4 food a turn and has a big 7-point thing. But this one only costs 1 food, produces 2. This is kind of the boner one, right? It costs a lot of stuff and doesn't give you much. You kind of wish it was a run-down, lousy-looking city. 3 for 3 isn't bad. 3 for 3, okay. These have to go away. Terrain, we see some new terrain here. Now, this could have come up right from the beginning. These are towns, and wait, let me face it towards us so we see it properly. It produces something. Some of them produce gold, some of them produce the discs. I think one produces cubes, and victory point as well. That's kind of a nice thing, just this constant victory point. It doesn't cost you anything to have. It's permanently with you. Okay, Era 2 technologies. And remember, all this Era 1 stuff is here. Something I didn't go over in the rules. In Era 3, you have to pay extra to pick up Era 2 stuff, if I recall correctly. Yeah. To pick up Era 1 stuff. I gotta see where that is. It's not there. Huh. Somewhere they talk about this. Yeah. You pay 1 gold if it's from a previous era, or 2 if it's two previous eras. That's for progress tiles. I'm not sure if cities are the same. You've got to kind of hunt through the whole rules to look for anything like that, because this is, of course, a Wallace game, and he doesn't tend to make things easy to access. But it doesn't look like there's any cost for cities that are out of their era. I could be wrong. It's not worth looking up. Okay, as I mentioned, we have these things. Now, what about these suckers? Alright. First one here is farming. That's going to produce 3 food a turn. That's even better than the 2 food a turn, right? This one is printing. When you're in the wrong position on the B side of the turn, you don't have to pay. You can pick your next disc no matter what. That's kind of cool. Gun, it's like the weapon, the earlier weapons, the iron weapons. It's going to cost you, you're able to knock off 1 person's cube with that in the same area. These look like trades again. No, those are ports. And they work like the trade, the other trade, the Haven or whatever. Except they work for 2 different things. So you could give 2 of a combination of stuff for a like combination of stuff. Gold, resources, discs, and player cubes. You can't buy food with those, though. I thought you could, which is part of why he kept his. Alright, this one is interesting. Until that's picked, or until we make it into Era B, you can't sail out to these areas. You can go into these. They're opened up now. These are not available till the end. And you can see they don't produce anything except victory points. In order to... So this is something I said had tricky kind of rules. In order to be the first person to go out here, you have to play, well, before anyone can go out there, somebody has to buy that. And when they do, they immediately put the number of cubes listed on it, in this case it's 3, into a new world, a single new world space. Either New World or Far East. They come from your general stock, and it allows you to expand into these areas. This space, the North and South America are not considered adjacent. Now, here's where things get weird. The New World and the Far East. You're allowed to place in those if you have one of these water tiles. Just like you can also place in the Med, well, now you can spread out into other areas of the world. And you'll see these areas have 3 resources instead of 2 and slightly higher value. They're good things. It looks to me like you're allowed to spread out to as many of those spaces as you like using that one of these cards. This only sends you to 1. However, if you don't have any cubes in the Old World, but you have at least 1 in the New World or Far East, you can use one of these to get you back into the Old World, but only into 1 space in the Old World, to kind of indicate that you can't just navally invade all over the place because you have that water counter. And that feels a little weird, but okay. What else do we have here? More farming. Another one of these. This one's only 2 cubes. Oh no, this is that one. This is mercenaries. I lied. This is the spread out, and that gives you 2 cubes. The navigation. Mercenaries. Okay. This is a weird one because when you pick it up, you got to pay 2 gold for it. It's like the only thing that has that. Oh no, television has it too later on. And you'll get 3 cubes out of your stock, and you can put it into any region on the map. My feeling on that is if you don't have navigation, you can't violate and go out into these areas. Okay. So, well, again, this is a game where I think I have to kind of play every action on screen almost, or else I'm just going to be, you know, coming back and trying to report everything, and it loses all sense of continuity if you do that. There is really no story to this game. So, what does Yellow want to do? Well, they have their production here. They are interested in more forests. There are other people that they're competing with for those forests. I think grabbing one of them is appealing, but these towns are also appealing. Some of these, for example, being able to fly out to the New World is interesting. And there's a hell of a city out here. Both of these are kind of nice for different reasons. There may also be trade opportunities. I have 7 trade markers. Well, if I spent 6 of them, I could get 5 victory points. Lots of good options. It's why you go first. And of course there's expansion, but you know, that seems less guaranteed. That seems like something you want to do later in the turn. So, I think what I'm going to do is I really like these, and I'm going to grab this town. I like those too, but I got lots of cubes coming to me. I want to just generate victory points, and those seem like a good deal for that. I don't have my $7, so I can't fire that off easily. Oh, I have my special abilities, 2 of which are triggered. Okay, our next player is Red. All those great options out there. Red has still kind of a food problem. I'm at -9, make it -3. I'm kind of low. If I make it -7, I'm out. Alternatively, of course, picking up a mountain which produces more stuff for me, well, that just reduces my food too. I have all these damn cubes, which I could turn into money if I need them. That would get me up to 6 cash. I don't really need 6 cash. Playing this, it would make me the... Oh, here's the other thing. I could grab one of these and play anywhere on the board because I don't have a board presence, including these areas. But again, although it's not specified as far as I can tell in the rules, I'm not going to allow that until this sucker is out of play. Nothing has been used. Nothing can go outside of Europe until that. Well... hard choices. I could throw lots of cubes down. There's a lot of open space here. If I took this as my starting space, I could spread into all these spaces. I think that's actually what I'm going to do, because that solves the most of my problems. I have all these cubes. I'll take this as my home. I can't go into the water space. I'm going to put my extra cube here. I don't want to fight. I want to help defend my space, I guess. There's a danger to clumping your cubes, though, which is... why go up there? I'll take this as my home, I guess. They're all adjacent. What do I see as most important? Well, food for me, but to tell you the truth, I don't think food is that dangerous to me. So I don't think anybody's going to go for that. So I'm going to double up there. Now, I could have made an attack somewhere, but nothing looked too appealing for that. Let me make sure I can't trade for food on this. Alright. That puts us to green. Green has this wonderful islands and ships, and I think that's a really awesome and powerful combination. I'm the only person who terribly wants islands because I'm the only person with it, which is one of the reasons why it's so wonderful, is no one else actually has it. If someone else had this, they'd be competing for these, just like all the other bonus areas. But here's the thing, these bonus areas don't cost me food, and they actually produce food, and they also produce some population, but that's okay. Get the victory point option. I have a pile of money. I have enough food. I'm gonna go big on the big city. And I mean, there are a lot of tough choices because there's a lot of good things available. That's, you know, one of the, I guess, advantages of the game is that you're not presented with just a single flow of actions. Okay, now I threw out my mining thing. Oh, I had no money, I guess. I don't know. Why would I have thrown that out? Weird. I really wanted that. I have more of these than anyone else. What the hell happened? Why would white have done that? I think I'm gonna take that back, because they had money at that point, there's no question, and they really don't want to lose that. I don't know what else they had, but that really screws their position if they throw that out. That's because these suckers last forever. Somebody didn't have money though, and everybody has money. I'm gonna say somehow I'm not understanding. How could they have gotten cash? I think I just didn't see their cash. I don't know what their other, I think their other thing was this. I think this was their other thing, and they would buy this back too, because that also is kind of a cool item, the calendar. I think I just didn't see their cash and thought it was Reds or something. Maybe it was. And this is more cash for Red. I really don't know. Okay, let's take a look at White here. White has no board presence, but the big spread is gone already. Victory points. There's more mountains, but I have 369. I'm at -7 for food because my food got cut off. I am interested in food. I'm gonna take the guns. Combat's always useful. And that puts me to blue, who is got weaponization. Food wise, I'm in pretty decent shape. I don't have much in the way of money. Or anything really. I'm pretty hosed. I guess technology may be my best option here. And in terms of things that no one else will be able to take, I'm going to grab printing. Remember, that allows me that I don't have to pay gold. And here it looks like gold on the thing, but again, the rules are different from the player aid and different from what the little cards, little counters say. There was definitely some failure to get everything in alignment. My guess is the rules were the last thing printed. That's the last thing successfully proofread or whatever. So I always use them as the final word. Counters and such don't tend to be. I should look up that other thing, which might be an errata as well. So that blanks us through the first round of these, and I need a break because that paint is not sitting well with me. So yellow's still kind of excited. There's still towns out there, a bunch of them. I think these are great things. Granted, it's only one victory point for one action, which doesn't seem too good when, you know, you could grab a couple of territories for 4 victory points with one action. Or you could get 3 victory points with this. But, like the city, they're recurring. Unlike the city, they have no costs. I'm going again. Now, do I... Actually, I think I'm going to take the one that gives money instead. Get a nice mix of stuff. Am I sure that's the best move? No, I'm not. But that's sort of actually where my gut goes, and I'm kind of surprised nobody else took one. Over here with red. Red went and grabbed territories. I got tons and tons of cubes. Cubes are a good thing. I'm gonna place myself on the technology, and I'm gonna send us over, and we get 2 to the Far East. It doesn't really matter. These guys, since they're not adjacent, there's no real advantage to being in one of those 2 instead. So then the question becomes, do I want money or do I want little discs? I actually kind of want money more, but part of my thinking is, well, this is adjacent to that. But it's not going to make a difference. Let's go for the stuff we like. Green. Well, let's try to find my drink. I gotta be paying attention to these things when I might want to trigger them. I like forests. This is kind of nice too, without a food issue. Or do I want to go for a technology? These just produce food. I think I'll follow yellow's lead and grab myself a town too. Towns and forests, they seem to go together in some twisted kind of way. And then white. See, now I could start picking up islands. Islands are kind of cool because if I get the boat, I could get one of anything. But here's the problem with that. I'll only have 2 of them at the end of this round. That guy might grab one because he's already got the goods for it. So I may not get much advantage from an island. I may be better off grabbing farming. I'm beginning to see these play out quite heavily, which means I may not give very many if I don't take one now. A perceived scarcity. And then to blue. Blue also has a bit of a farming issue. Undertake, is there a technology I'm dying for? This is kind of cool. I could go anywhere with 3 cubes. It's only into one region though. See, now if I plow into some place like this, I'm, going into an area that's adjacent to other things as opposed to, say, the high value areas with the 3 cube. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to also grab land. I don't know what. Because I have a little bit of a food issue. And I might as well make more production. And that sweeps us back. And now we're at yellow, which says more land. See, this stuff just produces for you for the rest of the game, so it's really appealing. I've equalized my food. I've got a decent amount here. I think I can go grab a forest. Of course, the problem is, whatever I take here, I'm going to be taking those again on the B side. But this stuff's running out. There's only one more turn worth of it. Red, and I actually think it's very valuable. I'm going to throw this thing out. We know it's been played. Red has not gained any lands at all. And they're feeling kind of behind the gun on that. They're going to take a mountain. They've got a food problem. 2, 4, 6. They're back 6 right now. 3 of them they've got there. If they make it, that puts them back 3. They can survive that as far as I'm thinking right now, but there is some danger. Green. Yeah. I think I like islands better than forests. Also means maybe I don't need to keep this. Yeah, but islands definitely have a nice payoff in terms of they're bumping me up in the food and getting me money. If I start taking forests, that's going to cut into my cash flow there. White. Again, this is what's running out. Now, do I want any of this crap? Well, the island would be the one, but it's maybe not as good an option as it once seemed. Why is this here? Son of a bitch. I think that's here, and I think they took the first one. Okay. So, what do we like? It just takes me a long time to figure out. I think the mercenaries may be my best move. It builds me up tech for next turn. One thing is, I may want to build a city just to get a shot at the level 2 cities, which I think tend to be better. I can't take this. It cost me $2. So, well, I don't have money. I don't have a way of generating money. I'm very poor. There are no wonders available which don't take money. So I've got attacks. Well, what's kind of cool about attacks is I can spread out. I can go anywhere to begin with. Ooh. Yeah, let's take one of these. Take this. A lot of cubes and a water capability. I'm gonna drop a cube here and then use the water capability to drop me down here. It gets me a lot of nice production, I think. Blue. Blue's only got 2 cubes. They don't have much money. They don't have much of anything, really. They only have 2 discs if they wanted to trade. They could get a pile of cash for that. That may be their best move. I'm gonna take, looks like $4 in cash. Pushes it forward again. Back to yellow. We're halfway through. Taking forever on my thinking. I'm gonna need to plug in at some point. There's still stuff out there. Do I want more forests though? That's the question. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4. I start losing food. We'll get better production overall though. $5. What will that do me for a city? $5 gets me a 3-point city. I want to store myself up in the city race. And that blows my cash. That gets me a marker in the next turn though, which is important. It doesn't give me a late marker though, but that's okay. Red. Red want to play in the city game? Cities are nice, but I got a food issue too. I produced 6. I'm back 6. Back 3. I really can't afford a city. So I'm not in that game if that's the case. In which case, what do I want to do? I could take an island. That helps my food capabilities a little bit. I have a decent amount of cubes still, which means I could expand. Could do mercenaries. I don't need them as much as other people do. I already have some trade capability. Lots of food. I like lots of food. Let's solve our food problem for good. At least for a while. Green. Green says, I can't turn down an island. Islands produce too nicely for me. And if people let me, I'll take the food too, because then I'm going to get my pick of all of these, and I think dominating those is very, very valuable. Okay. Puts it on white, and I can afford a forest. It doesn't do me as much as it does for other people, though. I can't take cities. I don't have a lot of other stuff except maybe spreading out on the board. So yeah, I'll pick up that forest, even if it's not terribly valuable. And that puts us over to blue. Blue has a pile of money too. I'm not in the cities game. This might be the time to get into it. I can get a 3 victory. Oh, somebody bought a 5. Let me switch which one he took, just because it's a bad deal. He gets to keep a buck this way. So now blue could get into that good one, and he will also get into the cities game and blow his $5 for the somewhat less valuable one. We push forward. Still got 2 of these left, and I need to attach my power cord. Alright, yellow. What's yellow up to? I was just drinking there. Not a lot of options. I don't have money. I have my warfare, so I'm going to want to do some combat. I have a bunch of these, so I want to trade, but I don't have to do that right away. So I think we'll go for the best warfare option we can take, and this one's pretty nice. So I get 2 cubes. See, I can go into other areas and blow away. Maybe I want the 3 cube one. If I take 3 cubes instead, I've got water, so I can go there. I got water, so I can go there. I couldn't go here. I'm not close enough. And now, what do I want? I can't reach. That's too far away. So, I got 3 food or 2 of this. I'll go for the piles of food, and I'm gonna shoot the English there and knock them out. Poor England, or the poor red. The red is, of course, England. And they are. Look. Yeah. Alright, so their option now. No more land available, of course. What do we have? We have a pile of money. We want to get in the cities game. We don't want this city. Therefore, we'll pay our $3 and grab this city. Which is not a bad deal. This is one I might want to keep. This one maybe not so much because it's only 1 for 1 in terms of the production of food versus... I've got to keep it now, but at the end of the era I have the option. What about green? Green says, well, I spent all my effort building up territories and now I have nothing except a bunch of cubes on the board. A bunch of cubes. One thing it can get me is the mercenaries. That's kind of cool. Is there anywhere I want to go in big force? Probably. What do I want most? Do I want black little things or do I want cash? I produce lots of black things. So I'm going to take the mercenary event, and this gets discarded after I use it. I'm going to take 3 cubes and I'm going to drop them in here. One thing you can see is the way I'm playing, I'm not hitting people who are ahead particularly. Now in 2 players, obviously, you're really gunning for the other person. But at this stage in the game, you really still want to optimize your own points. Late in the game, I think, is where you start really worrying about someone. Because we don't know how well Blue is. He hasn't been producing much. He's got a big victory point lead, but we don't know how important the balance between, you know, what he's got and what he produces as an engine are. In fact, my suspicion would be the engines are better. And here's the other thing. We don't know whether other people are going to take him down because he's ahead. So it's not our job, right? That's how I would view decent players as looking at this in general, is that they probably wouldn't hunt the leader too early, even if they know what's going on. What about White? White's got a decent amount of cubes, no money, a little bit of trading capability. Could get a couple victory points off a trade. That sounds pretty good, actually, at this point. I have 4 of these, so I'll take 3 quick victory points and push myself up. And now finally Blue. Blue has very little of anything. A couple cubes, which I may want to save for the last fire. Because I have my weapons in hand. So I think the other thing I can do is pick something up. Now, do I want trade ability? Yeah, that's nice to have that flexibility, but I'll tell you what, I would rather have production. I may not keep it, but it's producing 3 food a turn, and that's nice. And now we dump back to yellow. And one last disc. What did I want with it? Oh, I gotta be careful to use all my abilities. One last disc. I got some cubes. That's probably the best I can do. I'm going to pick there. So I could do a free attack with 1 cube, which is as good as a 2 attack with 2 cubes, but spreading out is nice too. Because I'm in the med, I can just jump there. Actually, I could have thrown out here too, but that doesn't help me right now. Red. Red's got cubes. Nothing else terribly of interest. So we shall attack, but what do we want here? I could turn cubes into money. I could turn stuff into stuff. Well, we'll see what happens. I think my best move is to take the cheapo 1, move in here, kill a yellow cube. Again, optimizing my own score. And yellow is getting a huge board presence. You can get a lot of points and a lot of stuff off that, even if it doesn't last. It's not like, you know, the stuff you have here, it's not safe. But now, do I want to make some trades? And I think the answer is yes. I don't produce a lot of money, so I'm going to turn 3 things into gold. I really don't produce a lot of money. I don't have any over here either. Green. Green has hordes and hordes of cubes, and not a whole hell of a lot they can do with it. They're not terribly interested in anything else. They're definitely doing this. Which set are they firing? What are their special abilities? They have no special abilities that they have to spend to use. So, where do we want to go? Well, it's either 2 cubes. Ooh, this is really nice. I can blow 2 things out of the water with 1 cube. It doesn't have water though, or without a cube. It doesn't have water, so I can't go sail here and take that, which would have been optimal, I think. So the next best choice appears to be heading here, fire 1. I might want to just knock him out of there for 2. And, you know, I don't know if it's a failure of imagination on my part. My feeling is the game just doesn't align very much with real believable happenings. It is like the coin games, which, although they're perfectly historical, I'm not even going to compare this historically, they don't give me a lot of story. I'm busy optimizing and playing cubes all game long. Okay, white. Again, I could pick up a technology. I'm not terribly thrilled with any of them. I think I'd rather have an attack capability. 2 options. 1 or 2 cubes. What are my specials? I have a free fire. Well, none of them will take me overseas. So this would be a real bummer, because I'd only get 1 cube and I could kill lots of stuff, more than I can kill otherwise. So I'm going to go for this one. Gives me 2 cubes. I'm going to spread into both of these. I don't like yellow's position. I feel like blue has tons of victory points, but they're no longer set up to produce those, and they're really not in a position that they're in powerful status. So I'm going to fire my guns at yellow. Even though yellow is doing very poorly on the victory point track, I think they're ahead. Take that however you like. Okay, and blue. Well, blue's got a couple of cubes, not a hell of a lot else to do. So, hell yeah. We'll buy a cube. And we can go in anywhere and blow things up. We like this. We get to kill it for free. Over here, hey, white, what are you, stupid? Why'd you come into my territory? You know I have a weapon. Right? Alright. That is the A period. Now we have to worry about moving the city. And these. And then I do some quick scoring, and I'm going to come back after all the scoring of all the different resources, give an update on what the overall world looks like. And as we finish turn 2A, I remembered to swap for white. They grabbed themselves the first position over in the technologies, which is a nice, this is a really cool little ability. You know, you put something early, you get to push it, push it out, and there's no reason for me to be doing so, except that I need to be near the board to wave my hands. Food problems. White has now joined red. Red didn't lose anything, but they came down to 0. They've kind of stabilized their problem pretty much. Of course, it involves a pile of food here. White did not stabilize theirs. They've got a serious food shortage now. 9, 11, 7, and they got knocked out of all the food, so they're back 7 this turn. I gotta be careful, especially with these tracks, with the counters in the low points in the tracks. I started moving them back. In terms of victory points, blue actually managed to keep a little bit of a lead here. I wasn't sure they were going to, but they managed to score a lot of cities and then some territories, but their little engine still doesn't produce much, and it produces them no black at all. Green's engine is massive and scary. The fact that they're able to be in kind of the pack with the victory points and have that engine, that is really frightening. And there isn't a lot you can do about what they've got over there. You can kind of screw them up on the board though, and I think right now they look like the most frightening person on the board. Picking on yellow, which had been done because of their board presence, probably a mistake. Green was the person to go after. And that's just been made very, very clear in terms of what they have. This is empty. I think it's a counter mix limitation. Not clear from what I remember of the rules. Let's see if it is, because actually, if it is, I guess you should do things in player order, in which case green could have taken more black discs and prevented someone else from getting them. I don't see anything that indicates that. Anyway, I'm playing it all friendly and just finishing up the cup with green, who had the option not to take as much. But they were going in the middle, and they could have actually deprived white and or blue of some black discs, which would have been a better move. And I probably should have done things in order instead of kind of simultaneously. Anyway, we're at the start of a new turn. I got to flip over all those counters. Last turn for new terrain to be added, and that's what's winning green the game right now. And other than that, we're ready to rock and start removing some of these. Except I gotta stop sweating a little bit. Okay, so now we're in era 2, and again, it's gonna be a long video, but so what? Except there it takes a long time to load, but. Start ordering, but let's take a look. No, actually it's not. We haven't done the ordering. Screw me. Before I look at those, I have to think about these. So yellow has first choice. What's yellow's play here? And actually I can look at these because they should all be known by the players. Only the first layer has hidden ones, because these are level 2. I haven't turned over the terrain. That should all be known too, as well as this. So since this is hidden trackable information, I'm going to flip it up. It wouldn't be in the A phase, and in fact the terrain wouldn't be until this point known, but rather than give people a need to calculate everything, let's just flip them all up. Okay, so yellow has first choice as to where to go in this ordering, because they have the least victory points. And that's kind of nice, because it's a fairly tight pack right now. My 2-player game was very close too. I think the game actually gives you a lot of choices and some tactical use of those choices that allow you to certainly optimize to some extent, but they all keep you kind of in the game. Maybe I'm wrong. I can see things that wouldn't. For example, you know, starving your population probably wouldn't work well. But it doesn't feel like there's a terrible amount of unbalance. The thing I'm worried about is this engine, but I think people have to gang up on him because that is unbalanced right now, I suspect. So, where does yellow want to go? Well, yellow's got a problem in terms of using these suckers. Now something, Jesus, I don't remember what, allows you printing. So whoever has printing can go as early as they like, and that's blue. They're going to have last choice, so it doesn't really help them, the person. But if they get stuck going early, that's fine. Yellow's going to have to pay a decent amount to use any of their abilities early on. I feel like I need to open some of that up. I have a decent amount of cubes. Cubes are actually kind of cheap on the board. So, you know, paying an extra 2 resources doesn't have to be money according to the rules. Might be okay, but then I'd be behind the 8 ball again maybe for the next pick. So I want to go kind of late. I'm going to go 4th because I am pretty far down in the order. Red is next. Red does have an option right off. I'm going to jump into first place, get my first choice. Next is green. Green feels like they have pretty good options, but nothing right behind red. How do they have? Well, they have tons of resources. They're going to be willing to spend some. Finally, white, and they're perfectly happy going there. So blue is going to go last. But blue has the right to pick, you know, any of their chits without any concern. In fact, they can actually take, say, this chip instead of this one, as far as I can see. Let me make sure that I have that correct, but yeah, it just says one of the action discs from a row. So they don't even have to take the best choice. They can leave blockers out there with printing and make it hard for other people because all those weird squiggly lines are weird. Okay. So, red's first. Now, red has serious food issues. Do I need to grab it right away? No. My options, well, city is my big option. Hey, city is the sucky thing. So, I could grab a bunch of points right off. This is the Wonder, and here's a Wonder. This one's even better. $4, 4 of these. I have tons of these. 3 cubes sounds good to me. $4, 4 discs. Get some back in the cup. 3 cubes, and I get a quick 10 points. Boom. That was easy. Okay. That puts us to green. Green has nothing really cheap, but for $1, I can take a land choice. Land choices are great. Nobody else is too interested in islands. I'm interested in islands. I don't seem to have a terrible deficit in food. I also have an interest in victory points. Money, cubes, these are all kind of neat things. Money's hard to raise in this game, although lots of resources can get you money. I am going to spend something. Spend one of these and get myself a village. That puts it to white. White's cheapest is this. Territory's always good. Oh, they also can get a technology. We didn't talk about the new technology, so we should have, because maybe some of these people wanted to take them. Like green could have paid 2 for a technology instead. Oh well, they didn't. So, we got these suckers, and these are kind of cool. They are steam pumps. Every plains you have, now plains are these farm-like lands, are going to generate you an extra resource of your choice, I believe. Yeah, no, a resource disk, I'm sorry. But plains have always been kind of the valuable thing to have, and now you can start scoring additional resources off them. Okay, this too is new. This is canals. It allows you to suck 3 cubes off the map and put them in your pool or back into territories you already hold. Very much like the roads were. This is just a slightly different version of that. Here we have the navigation thing. This is just to make it more likely that one comes out in period A, because you could still though use this to get some additional cubes on the board that you wouldn't have otherwise. Let's jump over to this one. It's a one-use, bang, it's gone. It gives you $5. Hey, you know, $5 for just a pick. One time only, but it's a decent influx of capital. Okay, what about these suckers? This one I'm going to leave to last. The religion, and we're going to see another one that's like it, which is ideology. What that does is during the victory point phase, each territory that you have any cubes in gets you an extra victory point. You don't have to even have, you know, second place in the area. You just get a bonus victory point. That's kind of nice. The other one here is diplomacy, and that's going to provide you. So this is where you use these little dudes. And this is, you know, the most expensive piece in the game, right? Single use, kind of complex. It is useful for one card, the diplomacy card. What happens is you swap, you pick the player who you're going to diplomatize with. You're going to have this. You take it as an action. You take their little diplomacy marker and you put it on top of the action after it's been flipped. And then the two of you can never do anything that will destroy each other's cubes on the board. That can be really, really potent in like a 2 or 3 player game. I think in the big number of players, it's going to be tougher unless, you know, you're in a situation where there's one person you're sharing territory with and you want to prevent them from scoring points, you know, taking the territory over from you easily. But they can still throw more cubes in and beat you out in it, and then it's harder for you to fix the situation, right? All right, where the hell am I? I'm on white. So white likes the idea of a technology. This one's really good, and I have a lot of cubes in terms of, well, I'd be getting, you know, 3 extra victory points if I hold this territory. That's pretty nice, but I do have to hold the territory. And the less players there are, the more valuable that ship is. I have a couple of farms, that's nice. Or I could throw my pieces in someplace, like, I don't know, over here, and shoot something. And I could do that by using this to shift two cubes out of here. This doesn't even count against my cubes. Interesting. This is my only technology, though. I have 2 world things. I think with all my toys, I might want the religion one. But do I want a territory? Because why? I got food problems. And this would help my food problems. Currently my food is 11 back. Yeah, I got some serious food problems. I'm gonna take myself more food production. Now, yeah, that's lovely. On to yellow. Yellow has nothing really good. They can get this for $1, which is the cities. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of money. Is there anything I could buy for $1? Well, actually, there are cities that are free. This gives the best return on my investment from food, but I've got plenty of food. I'm gonna go for the cities. I have to spend something. Which could be a food. What the hell, food's cheap. And I'm gonna grab the best of these cities. It eats up food, but I've got a goodly amount of food. It produces victory points. It seems like a deal to me. Blue, I can take anything. And I'm in everything. Joy. I have a lot of farms. I don't really have food problems, but I'm not great on food. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 4. I'm not bad. Cities, well, there's a wonder. That might be kind of cool. That would cost me 3 gold. I don't have this kind of resources kicking around. Wow, I have no resource cubes. I think I want a technology. I don't actually have to move these, but it helps. And I'm going to take, you know what? Technology actually doesn't make sense. Because there are two of these. I'm going to take a land, and I'm going to take another valuable farmland area. Yeah, it's not, you know, producing what I need, but if I get one of these, it does, and that's pretty cool. Is everybody else thinking that way? Well, probably not. We'll hope, because we go last. So we may not get one of these, but it seems good to us. Red. Red has nothing terribly cheap. The best is a territory pick. That's going to only cost me 1 extra. Serious food problems. Everything that produces food is gone. How serious are my food problems? 2, 4, 6, 9. I'm back 4. I can't afford that. So territory-wise, I don't want anything that hurts me. This looks like my best territory. I'm going to go for it. Little town there that produces food. And I gotta spend something. My best resource to spend, I think, is cubes. The problem is these are called resources and I keep using the word resource. So I'm gonna confuse the hell out of you there. Greenies. Greenies want more land. That's their cheapest option. Is there anything else they terribly want to go for? Well, I'm the guy who can score this, so that might actually be a good idea. Do I really care what land I get? Chances are I'm going to get this if I leave things alone. So I'm going to actually go for a city. And I'll, of course, spend a food for that. And I'm going to build a wonder. $3, 3 black, 2 cubes. Eight victory points. Pretty sweet. Okay. Gives me white. White says, I got a lot of things I can do, but trading and technology are my cheapest. Technology? How's my resource production? It's okay, but I could get 3 additional resources by pulling one of these suckers. Anything else I terribly want? I might want the victory point thing. I got a lot of cubes on the board. Yeah, I think I'm going to take it this time rather than pay and hope that I score a decent amount of victory points off that. Yeller? And again, it's because there's 2 of these out there and only one person who really wants it more than I do. But you never know. It might be the best pick for someone otherwise. Okay, yellow's play. Yellow probably wants territory, and I'm going to have to pay for territory. I'll pay a food to get this disc. What do I want? Well, how's my food situation? Because I may want a forest. I may want that town if I can't get the forest. The forest produces a little bit more, but at a cost of food. Food's always a problem. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4. So right now I'm at -2, -8. I could get food elsewhere. That would be nice, but I'm going to grab this territory for its victory point capabilities. Okay, that puts me to blue. And blue again can pick whatever the hell they want except for more territory. I can't have more territory. This is really important to me, but again, there's still 2 of them out. City? Or worse city? Much worse city. I could, of course, pass if I don't want that city. Other options? I got 2 of these. Is there another one that I feel I need more? Like, hey, give me $5. That sounds kind of pleasant, but so does this. I've got a couple of options out there. I'm going to take the cheap-ass city. Nope. Not to give that to him. That doesn't help my food issues, but that's okay. It doesn't really hurt him much either. And we're back. Red. It's going to be an expensive pick for red no matter what. 2 or 3 things, and it's probably not food, for either conquests, which cost me more, or a technology. It's very seldom the case that you have a lot of cubes you want to pick up off the board and move, at least the way I play. I'm pretty violent in games, but so these tend to not be too interesting to me. Blue didn't have to take that city. Nobody else is on that track. Nobody's going to get it. Nobody was going to take that city, so they had to take this one. Oops. Well, people make mistakes sometimes. I would rather take a technology, I believe. Food is important to me. I have a serious food deficit. I am going to pay 2 of what, pray tell? 2 cubes to take 2 cubes and put them over here where I'll get all that food. And I get a victory point. Now this is interesting, or 3 victory points. Yellow is still going to skim 2 victory points off their possession there. Now red might want to shoot them or something if they have that ability, but they don't. They could create gold if they need it. I don't really need gold right now. I'm actually kind of cube short compared to what I should be. So I'm going to let green go. And green has nothing to activate no matter what. Green's plays territory. That's my cheapest play. Islands or forest? Well, I like islands a lot. There's only one. Maybe I'll get the forest. Chances are I will. I don't think anybody's terribly interested in it. So I'll grab yet another rich little island for myself. Whitey? What's Whitey want? Territory's appealing. I'd want a mountain if I take it. Can I afford a mountain? Jeez, here's the problem. 2, 4, 6 to 11. I'm at -5 already. A mountain will put me 3 more back. Am I going to have any way to get the food that I need? I think instead I'm going to buy this and start, throw a cube for that, and start playing big things to try to get big food. I got 4 that I'm allowed to place. First place is what's important, man. I can't go in the water. Up here, I'm going to fire my guns. I'm going to kill yellow out of a water. And again, patting your own nest is more important than wiping the other guy out, isn't it? I got more I can do. Actually, I'm only going to put 1 cube in the food. I'm going to put the other cube here. I'm allowed to do it because I'm already present there. I'm going to trigger the attack, and I'm going to knock green out of there. Remember, I used the gun for the first thing. Now I've just swept the green player out of a valuable first place over in India. Yellow. Yellow's options aren't terribly good. I gotta pay 2 to fire off one of these and 3 to fire off one of those. Lucky for me, I have plenty of food. I have to do it all in one resource. I'm going to spend 2 food. Grab myself a forest since I have the axe. It's going to put me into a bigger food deficit, but that's okay. Okay. That puts us to blue. Blue's still interested in these, but maybe not vitally so. I don't feel like I'm going to be targeted terribly much by anyone. If white still had their gun, I'd be worried about them. I might be incidentally hit, but that doesn't seem terribly dangerous to me. So my choices really are, do I want a territory? I'm not really that worried about the trade since I have no black things right now. Making sure that my printing was not something I had to flip. That would have been a different situation and not as good as the trade option from before. But no, it's just this continuous effect. So, not interested in my trade at all. Why do I not produce blacks? Not terribly interested in grabbing this yet. I probably don't want to do a weapon yet. I'm going to pop this one off, keep other people in the pay, and I'm going to take the one shot. Give me $5, man. I could use money because I like that option. And now we trim back again, and we're back at the top with red. Halfway through. All right, I may have to break again. Almost out of coffee, but I don't have much tea either. Red, red has no great choices. $2 payment for either a tech, and honestly, this is the tech I want. Pretty strongly. I don't really need to expand, I don't think yet, although it would be kind of neat to blow someone out of the water or maybe hunt green or something, but green has, I'd rather let them go first. So yeah, I'll pay 2 of something. 2 of what? I don't have a trade on the books. I'm going to pay 2 of these discs, I guess. It's hard to tell. And I'm going to buy myself the steam well. And now that's becoming a more interesting commodity, and blue may not get it. They may have screwed up by not taking it earlier. All right, that puts it on green. Green's tastes. Well, it's cheap to either take territory, and I do definitely want a forest over a mountain. In all ways, it's better for me. Or, well, I have none of this. I'm not really worried about what I'm going to get elsewhere. The diplomacy is probably the best of the chits. Actually, it really is for me. But what am I paying? I'll pay a food and grab one of these. We're going to have to pay for our technologies, but we want those axes. Okay. White. White's set up for trade or taking territory. Territory, no big excitement there. What about trade? I got 5 of these. What can I get for 5 of these? Do I really want cash? Not at all. Cash is only really useful for cities at this moment. So I'm going to take a trade. I'm going to grab myself 4 victory points. And cluster up with the rest of the pack there. Green. No, I'm sorry, yellow. I got yellow-green color blindness, okay? No. For one, I can get the mountain, which I don't even know if I want. But it's 3 to get my choice of attacks. Now, I can take food for this. Shit. I've got a weapon in hand already. We could pick off green. Is this the time I want to do it? Not terribly. I'm just gonna kill a food, grab myself a mountain, and figure, well, because this is expensive and I don't think it's that much of an advantage for me, if any. And now we're on blue, and blue has their choice of 3 different things, and they sure the hell want to take the technology. They want this badly. Fills the boat. And now, but not the little boat. You wouldn't really want to fill that, would you? More go underwater. All right, let's try to think clearly here. We're on red, and red doesn't really have an option. I'm gonna have to pay 2 stuff. I don't have a lot of stuff to pay. I can afford to pay it in cubes again. I'll be taking an action. An attack action somewhere. What are my one-shots? I can trade things. That doesn't really help me. I can get gold. Not a help right now. So let us... I think we want to expand. Food may still be a problem for us. It might be worth trying to expand into an area with more food. On the other hand, green is a problem for us. We would like to blow green out of the water. At least in terms of getting resources. This would knock off the green piece, but I might be better off taking other choices. I think I want to place pieces, and that's got water. I'm going to take away from green. They still get the victory points, but they don't get the engine aspect. And I am going to strengthen my hold here. This one required the water chit, the other one does not. Green? Green's cheapest to take a technology. I kind of like diplomacy. If I don't take it now, I won't be able to use it. I'm not sure I particularly care about the attacks right now. So I'll put that up here. A chit that I get to actually use for the first time for them. White. The mountain's free. It looks better than paying for something else. Even though it's going to hurt me food-wise. Hey, maybe I can make up for it. Otherwise, I'll lose some victory points. That might be worth it too. Okay. And now where are we? We're on yellow. Yellow is going to have to pay 2 to make an attack. To what? To food! You gotta be careful when it starts getting low, but you know, it is the least valuable resource far and away, and the fact that you're allowed to use it, that's fine. Now, what do I want for my attack? I got tons of little cubes to play with here. I've got an attack available for free. I feel green is the leader, but I don't feel like they're running away with it. Look at how much red has taken on the board. I don't like that. My food situation is good. No, it's not. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 off. 17 minus 4. Yeah, I need food. Whose food do I need? Well, what I need to do is I need to probably make an attack and shoot my weapon and play a lot of pieces. To me, it's this piece that I want. I grab 3 of these. I'm going to throw 2 in here. I'm going to use the water ability. No, I can't because I'm here. Fuck. I need food. I would love to hit white there, but I'm going to use my attack to kill all these red pieces. I think red's doing quite well this turn. And then I'm going to use my other kind of attack to kill off this white piece. And we're in the race for food here. This did not happen in the 2-player game because you can balance your economy better and you can just say, well, I'm not in a risk for losing food. And now blue, last of all. Of the 2 points, my choices are a trade, which is useless to me. I have no resources. But maybe I want to burn that because I'm not going to get resources. And the possibility of an attack. I think I like attack best. My food situation looks fairly strong. So, of course, this is costing everyone something, and I could slip in at the end. Yeah, I'm just going to burn my trade. I got nothing I can do to upgrade it. None of my tools help me there. And now we're on the last round for this. That puts me to red. Yeah, these are long videos. Red has, oh jeez. Red has to pay 4. It's going to have to be resources. I have to do this. I can't avoid paying. I can pass and not take the action. But I got stuffed behind the 8-ball there. And it ate up a lot of my capabilities. And I don't have food to spare. Okay, I get an attack. I'm only interested in spending 2 of these at most. I really, really want food. I'm going to take this one because it's more violent, I guess. Drop them in here. Kill myself. A yellow piece. And take a food area again. And let's make sure I've used everything I want to use. I don't have any cubes left. I can trade things for other things. I don't really have any things left. Hey, I can't trade that for victory points, can I? I think that would be too much to ask. Nope. Alright. Green. Green's going to have to pay 1 of something. Sounds like food to me. In order to launch an attack. Green will launch their attack. How? I could use a lot of discs. I have a fine food production, I'm sure. May not be optimal, but it'll last this turn. So, what do I want to expand into? Well, I got an attack here that'll work. I could make that there. I got no tools I want to use except the diplomacy, and I don't want to use that until after I go, because I want to be free to attack. This one allows me just to blow other people away. That's kind of cool. But it doesn't give me seaborne movement, so there isn't a lot of places that I could go with that. This one lets me blow one other person away using seaborne movement. That is insufficient for what I need. I got a lot of cubes. I'm only allowed to do one attack in this phase. Next round I'd be able to do 2 with one of these pieces. So I think I'll take the 2 cube place. And I must have paid the food because my chip's off the board. Put this here. Do I have water capability with this? This one gives me water capability. That's the better chip to take. Because now I could sail to a new location. It's hard to tell what I really want. Money doesn't run out. The counter mix for money is very good. The counter mix for resources is not so good. However, so my choices are white and yellow are each going to get a play. Yellow is going to get the last of the picks, so I probably want to diplomatize with white. White's in the lead. I'm going to toss a piece in here using my waterborne. And now I get my attack, which is trading 1 for 2. I bone red a little bit. I'm going to do my diplomacy on white, so they can't make us lose a chip. They might make me lose my value here. I might not come in first, but I'll probably come in second at least. Speaking of which, it's white's turn. White has to pay 2 of something. They don't have a lot of anything except cubes, so they'll pay that. An attack. This gives me 2. This is white. White has no special weapons. White wants to spread out with cubes in lots of places. Sounds good to me. I'm less interested in blowing people out of places than being in places. So I'll go here and I'll go here, and that's going to split the stuff in places. I'm using the religion as my determinant in terms of, yeah, I want to be in lots of places and get some stuff, because I'll get victory points for those places, more than I would get if I fought for more places. Yellow. Yellow has to pay something. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yellow. Well, my choices are kill 2 or kill 1, with the option of water in the 2 different places, or in one of those 2. What do I need? Food situation, not perfect. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 13. I kind of want food. I don't have a weapon. Grab this, go over here, blast red out of there. The other option would be to blast white out of here. This is worth more victory points to me. And last but not least is blue. Well, they don't have a choice as to what they're getting. They're getting a piece. I've got a lot of violence in my hand. I got my attack chit. I don't know if everybody's used their bonuses that they wanted to use. White didn't kill green, did they? They can't. Alright. Not a lot of those for me. What do I want? I'm okay in food, am I not? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 6. I am producing food. So I'd like other things. I've got a decent amount of money. I've got an attack chit that lets me, say, blow white out of the water here. Where else would I want to go? I could take control of this or split something else. Those are really my only choices. Alright, I'll go down here. I'm killing 2 white cubes using the top attack space. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use the bottom one, but it's less valuable either way. And now, we're going to go to the scoring phase. I'm going to do the food, income, and victory points. And to tell you the truth, I tend to not do them in order, but I'm going to have to start doing them that way because I think this is a limited countermix, and that's how I'm going to play it. I can do the food and victory point phases on their own. I can't do the income phase outside of the order. But the food phase, so I ran over to white and we get a problem. 2, 4, 6 food. That kills that. I'm at -8 food. -7. That's all the food there is. Well, I can pay for 1. The other 6 come off in victory points. Bang! Bad, bad, bad. This time, doing things in player order. Put this back. Outside of the food, and I should have just done the food. I should just do all of these as one phase per player, because really most of it's just bookkeeping. The only question is, hey, do you drain a resource? That's only resources that other people need. And that happened actually. Red managed to pull a good pile of resources. Green ate the rest of them. They're gone. And in fact, there will not be any more because no resources are produced in the victory phase, and that's the time when you actually pay off the cities. It is one reason to do things in careful order, but your payouts for cities, which might include resources, aren't going to be back in time for anybody to get their income. And in fact, I should have been a little bit more careful. I did the food first. I shouldn't do that because the food that you pay for cities doesn't come out of your hand until victory points. But that's okay. The food that you pay for these things, I guess, does come out during the food phase. It doesn't make too much difference there. Except that when you take these, well, those can come out at any point. Anyway, what we've ended up, no, not at the food phase. What we've ended up with is green has really monopolized all of the resources. Now, they can dump a lot of them in next turn and trade, which they probably want to do, but they're preventing other people from taking a resource path, and that's going to be a problem for other people. I don't know if I can create notional resources if one of these cities needs one. I feel like the answer is no, so I don't know what'll happen. I think the city disappears at that point if it doesn't have a resource. Anyway, we're going to move on to white's bookkeeping. After scoring, I forgot to do this, so I reset that, killed off a white piece here and reset things. Victory point wise, we got 3 people kind of in the lead. People who have, you know, been scoring cities is primarily the thing. White had a decent amount of territory, or I'm sorry, green has what? Not a lot in terms of cities. They had been doing fairly well. They've got a couple of towns. I don't know why they're so far ahead, but white and yellow, oh, maybe they did a trade or something. White and yellow are kind of falling behind in the victory point race. Of course, there's some equalization here. Now, we've got problems. This is the end of an era. Before we do anything else, we have to determine the player order. And white's got first choice. No resources and huge quantities of cubes, a decent amount of money. Why does red have no money? Because red doesn't produce money. I'd have to trade cubes for money. That's a kind of nice shit, but I'm not going to be able to keep it because I have no money. I didn't have the cubes to spend on it earlier. Okay. So actually, yeah, we do the turn order phase first, and I see no reason white doesn't want to go first. Likewise with yellow, I see no particular reason. I see no reason not to go early on the first action, except for the fact that, hey, the later you go, the earlier you might go in the next action. But there's good stuff coming up, almost guaranteed. And I don't think taking that pass is terribly worthwhile. I may be very mistaken on that. Now we have blue and green. Well, green clearly has more stuff than blue does. I'm not going to count it, but all those black discs, and they have more of their money. They have at least as much money, probably more, and it looks like more cubes available to play. So blue is going to go next, then green, and finally red, who's in the lead in victory points. That's not necessarily a great place to be. Now, in the new player order, we're at the end of the era. And at this point, white, for example, has to decide which of these do I want. I can't keep this. That's going to go up here and be available to someone else. It's only used once each time. These two, cubes are, resources are great, but am I going to get them? You know? Well, I'm going to get them this turn because I get to go first. So I'm going to pay my $2, keep that. I think I forgot to use the calendar this turn. I can't go back and fix that. So I'll be keeping that. Do I want my city? Hell yeah, cubes are cheap. What about over here? Well, we ran up almost against the wall on food here with red, so we may have some problems. We have no money, so our entire technology base is just destroyed. We've just entered a dark age, I think. I mean, you can kind of try to explain away things that way. It's just, it's weird. Let's get these out here. Now remember, taking level 1 technologies is exceptionally expensive. I doubt anybody's going to do it. Now, what about my cities? Do I want to keep these? Well, here's the problem. I definitely want this one. But do I want that one? It's 3 victory points for 3 food. What's my food production? My food production right now out front is 4, -2, -5, -9. I'm going to pitch this city. This is too dangerous for me to hold right now. I'm doing well enough in the game. Somebody's going to blast my food production to make sure that I fail. So while I don't mind spending the cube, I don't want that city. It's too risky. Oops, I shouldn't have done that next. I should have been going in order. Oh well, this doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect other people. What about this guy? I like the weapons. I definitely want this. This is garbage. So much as I don't like spending the money, $1 more isn't going to make much difference. What about these suckers? I got a food problem too. And I'm going to keep, for the same kind of reasons, just one of my cities. You know, the first time I played with my wife, not only were we able to optimize our economies better so we weren't in lack of food, in fact, we were almost always too flush in food in terms of, I think, generating victory points from it. But more than that, we kind of discarded cities and stuff a little more than I've done in this game. We weren't able, it didn't seem as worthwhile to hold things. Now that may be a vector of the 2-player, or a factor of the 2-player game as opposed to the 5-player game. It's hard to tell. But this is what I'm going to keep with yellow. Blue. Blue has 4 technologies. I like this one. I like food. This one's kind of cool. The weapon's cool. I think it's worth $4 to keep these in my hand. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of technology. I definitely want this cube. These basically pay off at decent rates. So I'm going to keep this one because it pays a lot of victory points for the cube that I'm expending right now. I feel like I have enough cubes, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep that last city. My food production is clearly fine right now. This was kind of the question, is did I want to spend $1 for that? You know, is it going to make up for itself? Yeah, I think so. I'm going to keep them all. Go for a city's advance. What about here? Well, I sure the hell want that. I sure the hell want that. This I can't keep. It's red bottomed, so it's discarded and available for play. So I'll pay my $2 to keep my 2 production capabilities. My city, oh, how is my food situation? My food situation is fine, so I will keep my city as well. And I'm done. Of course, my food situation might be based on board presence as well, but so far it doesn't look like it is. One more thing. All of these are dying. There's one piece left on the board. It's hard to keep your board presence and maximize your points and your production and all that. You can always get yourself back on the board, but yeah, you're usually starting over with a new empire, it looks like, if you're trying to maximize your points from another turn. If you want to keep your position on the board, if you like what you've got, yeah, you keep an extra piece in there. That also can help you defend a space, but the problem is it often is so easy to wipe someone out, no matter what size, as long as it's something reasonable, like 4 cubes or less, that it's worth spreading out and letting yourself die, because at least you get something for it, right? All right. We got to flip these suckers over, and we're going to be entering into the 3rd era, which means that these territories become open now. This one is particularly hard to reach, as is this one. You can get them with sea movement if you're not in Europe already, but it's very hard to get into these little corners here, and they're valuable corners. This one's much easier to get. You just need a sea move to get there. All right, I think this is the end of Era 2, and we're going to load this one up.